It might be time as a society for us to accept we have failed our children. I mean, how else would you describe a society where our kids are practically raising themselves, we don't know where they are at all hours of the night, and where holidays are turned into massacres because of our teenagers? Well, that was exactly the reality of this past 4th of July weekend in not just one or two cities, but cities all across the country. I'm the mom behind the mask, and if you're worried about the world we're leaving to our children, well then it looks like your algorithm brought you to the right place. Welcome. Today I want to focus on the incident that happened this past weekend in Indianapolis. Mass shooting killing 2 teens and injuring 5 others, and the culprits? Other teenagers. And what's so frustrating about this incident is that it was predictable because of the rising trend of unsupervised youth running throughout the city and the uprise in their access to firearms.
It's unacceptable. The police department all night long went from place to place to place, trying to prevent these kind of things. And I gotta be honest, I'm tired of it. You should be tired of it. This is not our job to do this. It is unnecessary. You don't have to act like this.
There is so much to unpack here. I mean, how are kids getting access to firearms? Why are parents so disengaged in their children's lives? And did this have anything to do with the holiday, the 4th of July, and our current culture of not wanting to celebrate and having outrage for anyone celebrating our country and its democracy? Now, we can talk about gun laws, and perhaps we should talk about who has access, the fact that laws vary state to state, and the quality of the background checks in the states that do require them. But I want to really quickly show you one stat before I put my 2 cents in. 2 countries where gun laws are extremely strict, Japan and Sweden. Now, Japan only sees approximately 10 gun deaths per year, and they attribute that to their strict gun laws. However, a country like Sweden, whose laws are nearly the same, yet they have the highest rate of gun violence in Europe. The issue is not the guns, it's the society, and our society is cooked. At nearly 1:30 in the morning, after the 4th of July celebration in Indianapolis, police responded to not 1, but 2 distress calls about shootings in the area. Those arrested were an unnamed 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, along with a 17-year-old who will be tried as an adult, Vincent Lanking. Now you tell me why especially a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old were out at 1:30 in the morning, unsupervised, with firearms. Now, I was a little wild at 16 and 17, and my parents didn't always know where I was, especially after I got my driver's license, but there's no excuse for this. Children with firearms. The 2 boys that did not survive the incident were 15-year-old Azarian Cole and 16-year-old Xavier Jackson. And the others injured who thankfully survived their injuries were ages 16, 17, 2 of them were 19, and 21. These are children. Yes, even the 19 and 21-year-olds, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, they had long lives left to live. And while those over the age of 18 should be held to a higher standard and should be concerned with the young people's safety around them, the responsibility ultimately lies with their parents. And as much as I feel for the parents and I empathize with the tragedy they're facing, they failed them. Especially the younger ones. I'm sorry, but as a parent, I can't imagine allowing my child to go out to be out at 1:30 in the morning at any event or gathering or even just out of my house without me, or at least a very close family member. It just wouldn't happen. The city of Indianapolis is fed up too. They're implementing stricter curfews for minors and encouraging small business owners in the area to become more involved and more vigilant in protecting their properties and reporting any misconduct they see after hours. The chief of police did not hold back in his criticism of parents in the city, as this is not an isolated incident, but just another drop in the bucket.
We are not your children's keepers. You are. And parents and guardians have got to step up. A kid is dead tonight. And we just don't know the age of the young man down the street, still here, dead. He looks young.
Take a look at this statement from community activist Kareem Hines, who is the founder of New Boy Mentoring and Youth Development, which I will include a link to their website below. This is a program that encourages more family and community involvement in raising the next generation of men and is committed to being a safe space for them.
We all do our part. We take it personal, we do our part, then we build and bridge the community. But you have to take responsibility as a mom, a dad, a man, a woman, a grandmother, a aunt, a cousin, or uncle. I think we know what's going on in our homes. We know what's going on in our neighborhoods. The unfortunate circumstance, and I do send my full condolences to the families that are now planning funerals and are visiting hospitals this morning. But I know that more people will surround those young men that died at a funeral than surrounded those young men when they were living. That's unfortunate. The work is not going to be solved downtown. We move the needle before the kids come downtown. That's what has to happen. You have to want to go into the communities, the schools that you might feel uncomfortable in. It doesn't start downtown. So the chief, the mayor, the city can put as many checks and balances or barriers and technology as they want downtown. We have to reach the kids before they get downtown. As I'm receiving messages this morning from our young people, they're saying, I'm good, we're good, my people are good. One message that stood out from a young man that was sent to our mentors, he said, I'm straight. That's a small thing to a giant. That's a 15-year-old. That's a direct quote that we received on our mentor thread from a young man. That what happened last night is a small thing to a giant. Our kids are in pain. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing this pain that our kids are in. And we're seeing it manifest itself in a really ugly way. Our kids are hurting. So again, not what is the community going to do, what are you going to do? If you're watching, whether you're watching it now or tomorrow, whenever you see this, what are you going to do? I dare you to adopt 2 words. Mama, grandma, auntie, uncle, daddy, sister, cousin, wherever you at, 2 words. I need you to say, not mine. That's what I want you to say, not mine. The graveyards will not get mine.
Now, like I said earlier, this was not just isolated to Indianapolis. There were incidents all over the country, including Philly, Chicago, San Francisco, Fort Worth, Cleveland, Albany, New York, who experienced 3 different incidents over the weekend, and another one in Charlottesville, Virginia. These are all states with varying firearm control laws, so we could talk about those laws, but I think our time would be better served talking about parenting failures, lack of community centers, mental health issues, the gaps in marginalized communities, fatherless homes, and even social media and the TV and music industries who glamorize dangerous lifestyles. If you're scared of the world we're raising our children in, well, then you probably should be. People like Kareem Hines are practically scooping water out of the ocean with a bucket. They mean well, but without real support and willingness to change on a societal level, kids will continue to be left needing more support, more mentorship, more love, more structure, more parental involvement, more person-to-person exchange. We need to start paying attention to our kids, or the wrong people will. If you're worried about the world we're leaving to our children, well then, I'm right there with you.